neto Chineke ekekeruwa. Anyị neto Chineke onye keruwa. Anyị neto Chineke ekekeruwa. Maka ihe ọma niile o mere anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke. Anyị ekele onye keruwa. Maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị neto Chineke. Anyị ekele Ọkatọnda. Anyị ekele Olodumare. Maka ihe o mere anyị. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'aka ekpe. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'ihu anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke.
Ekele dịrị Chineke. All blessings, all grace, all honors to the Most High, Divine Mind, for us having this opportunity to be here. Mamano. Let everything that you touch today be nothing but goodness. Let all your family be healthy, happy. Let everything that you're doing become successful. We are grateful to be walking amongst the living. I am Okedibia Dr. Wanyo Hosimiri. I'm the most senior spiritual sage of the Global Faith Ministries of Chiism, a ministry of the Guardian Religion. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. As always, it's my pleasure to bring forward Dibia Ochoaja Udionyoha, spiritual sage, high spiritual sage of the Global Faith Ministries of Chiism. Udikawo, Ndewoledama.
Yeah, guys.
Everything. Welcome. It is such a wonderful day to be alive today. I mean, it's so damp outside. I don't know how it is where you are, but it is so dark out here. Now, I love that though. I love rain. I mean, that's part of the Arunsi, raining down goodness. So I'm grateful for that. I am not complaining by a long shot. I just want us to thank Chineke before we get started. Whatever you are, just take a moment. And I just want to go over what that song was saying. I need to Chineke. We are giving thanks to Chineke for this wonderful opportunity that we have. Let us thank Chineke for all of our blessings, for giving us breath, for showing us to inhale and exhale. It's a privilege that many people don't have. So for that, we are grateful. We thank Chineke for our health through the COVID experience where so many have lost their lives. But here we are, still inhaling and exhaling. We are still walking amongst the living. So for that, we say Chineke, Imela, thank you. We ask Chineke, we thank Chineke for protection against all evil set up against us that will never materialize. Never materialize his word.
Yes.
Because when you are surrounded by the ancestors and surrounded by Chineke, nothing but goodness follows you. When you hold your Mama. And I now see Chineke email for giving us peace. Udo of the mind, peace of the mind. Because when you have peace of the mind, you can create peace around you. When dismay rules supreme, Chineke says no. And nothing but peace and goodness follows us. This is what we are looking for today. This is what we accept have been given to us already. So, Chineke for all offering us good family. Good family is so essential. People who care about us, people who are willing to give to us. We thank Chineke. For those of us who are fortunate to have good family, thank you. I spent time yesterday with my family. Chineke, thank you. Everybody was well. And we ate and ate and ate till we all got sick of eating. And Chineke, for those who don't have food to eat, I know biko. Yene haka. Ogine bochi mo benye. Oke osisi nenye ndo. Biko, I na arịọ gị nyere ndị enweghị aka. Nyere ndị enweghị aka.
Yes, sir.
Chineke, I na arịọ gị. Biko, continue to give us the mindset. Ekwukwala ka onwe mgbe anyị ga-abịa sị ka onye ọdọ kpara anyị fine bụ. Ka ọ bụrụ onye ọdọ ga-akpara anyị fine bụ.
Easier.
Keep our minds open so we keep asking questions, and as we can ask the questions, we can answer it.
Yes, sir.
Anyị niile bụ aka Chineke.
Easier.
Ọlọma niile ị na-eme aka anyị ka o si aga. Everything that you do, all the goodness that you do, you just pass it right through us. So we know we're connected to you. And we need to be reminded every day as much as possible that we are connected to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, nigga, twine.
Yes, sir.
We will never get sick. Oh, nigga, twine.
Yes, sir.
We will never hit anything. Everything in our path will be made useless.
Yes, sir.
Because of the power of the Most High that surrounds us each and every day. Continue to protect us and clear the path of debris, of fear, the debris of guilt, the debris of all matters that mean us no good.
Yes, sir.
Chineke, most importantly, Kelegi, thank you for letting us know that we matter. Letting us know that we matter, because each and every day that we can get out of bed and there's food on the table, we can go where we have to go, no aches and pains, we matter to you. I need Kelegi. Otitonile derege.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we thank you for having patience and overlooking some of our confusion and working with us through thick and thin. I am one with Chineke. I hope that you realize that you won as well. Yagazienu.
Yagazie.
Ofo.
Ofo.
I want to remind you, before we go any further, let's see who is here with us. Ukunna Charles. Ukunna says that he's having difficulty with network, but by God's grace, the network will straighten out for you. He says, you people are looking good. Thank you. I was loving when he says that, you just start off your day. That's wonderful. Yes, and thank you. Yes, Ukunna, thank you, Chineke. Thank you, Chineke. It is so important that our discussion today is really it's all about revisiting who we are and understanding who we are in the whole scheme of things. Because unfortunately, Yudi, we have been told that the power is no longer with us, and we start to act accordingly. There is no shortcut to the top of the palm tree. It takes time. That's an African proverb.
Yep.
Everything we're going through, Chineke is setting us up.
There's no magic pill.
There's no magic.
Yeah.
It's just setting us up to get in the shape that we need to be, preparing us for greatness. Sometimes we don't even know that this is what is happening to us. We see life as difficult, as painful, unnecessary pain. Why is somebody else doing better than I am? Why? But what is important is for us to know that what we perceive as punishment is really not that. What we perceive as punishment is preparation. Preparation for big things. The truth is that Chineke is wisdom, strength, forgiveness, you name it. Everything that we want that is good in life, Chineke is all of that. But guess what, Yudi? It's already in us.
Yep.
All of that is already poured into us. But do we know it? Do we know it? Yudi, before you and I go into the conversation today, I just want to, you know what I said earlier, aka Chineke. Anyị niile wụ aka Chineke.
Yep.
Anything that Chineke is doing, it's put in our hands to do. You know, Chineke doesn't walk in and say, okay, here I'm Chineke, let me do it. No. When you have a challenge, if you're willing and prepared to listen and learn how to do what you're supposed to do, if you're obedient to Chineke, you can do anything. I want to share this video. And I think you've seen the video. Yeah. I want to share this video because this video speaks. And the good thing about it is there are so many people just like this woman I'm about to show you. I get a lot of email from people who are asking me to give them this and give them that. I understand that we have issues in our lives wherever we are. I don't doubt that at all. I don't. However, if you're paying attention, if you become introspective and go in and search for that light, you realize that everything you're asking for, you already have it. But you got to look around because Chineke said to Ife and Adam, everything that you want to make your life manageable, successful, etc., it's all around you. You just have to look around. You have to be prepared.
And mix it up in the right proportion.
That's right. That's right.
Protect it. Use it correctly.
That's right.
And it will guide you to a bountiful future.
You know, so when we are looking, when we are struggling, and it seems like what is going on in our lives right now, UD, is everybody's looking for something else to help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if we're sick, we got to go to the hospital. We need the internet. We need this. We need that. Just go back to when you didn't have all of that. What did you do? I'm not saying that we have to go back to the 18th century. I'm just saying you're only as helpless as you're looking at what other people have. Because if you will pay attention, you'll find that around you, you have exactly what you need to work with. So let me play. This is a woman who was poor, but she saw trash around her.
It's an amazing story. It's just amazing.
Tires.
Yeah.
She's rich now. She didn't sit around. She didn't even have it. She'll tell you. I'll let her play, and then we'll talk about it at the other end.
I don't know why, but if you can see this, that is a bit of what they want. Love purchasing the products online because people actually customize the products. An amazing journey.
So you're looking forward to the design.
When I started the company, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of people who can support me with a lot of things. So what I have is people who are very, very talented around me, but with no opportunity. So when I started Soul Rebels, is that with 5 people, we put together the Barabasso shoes, and then we created this flip-flop. And we didn't even know that it's going to be this big after 15 years. Yeah. Especially for products from Africa and products for everybody markets Ethiopian and African product as a charity product. So for me to stand out and to say this is what I have, some of the awards that I wanna call out here is that the Legatum Award. The people who receive our sample, probably we send out the first 2,000 emails for buyers, and the response was really amazing. Some of the people are saying how Ethiopians gonna make shoes where you don't have any food to eat. We don't wanna buy your products because we are not under our requirements. You're not gonna be able to fit in. All negative stuff, but 3 emails were very positive for us. Its own character and its own color and expression. Both are recycled bioshoes. When we say handmade products, it's 100% handmade products, and most of the materials that we use to produce a Soul Rebels product are coming from local. So imagine that, like local components for export market instead of we're bringing everything and then put probably 5% of the value in there and then re-export it. It's 100%, probably 95% of the material are coming from here. You can see my heels are made from Proverb, so it's upgrading itself, so refining it. So somehow you connect it with the workers through this product. The others, it depends on the weather, depends on the season that we come up with different.
Did you hear that? Republic of Leather. They even coined it Republic.
You know, here's a lesson. It's something that we talk about. You know, we already know, so it's not a big secret or anything. But in Nigeria, for example, there's this attitude, this inferiority complex about products that we produce in Africa or in Nigeria, where we look at our products as inferior to products from without, right?
Yes.
We fail to understand that a lot of the prayers that we send out has to deal with improved economic situation, can be mitigated if we just have the attitude that we're just as good as everybody else, that our capacity to produce a quality goods is just as good or maybe even better than anybody else.
That's right.
That the opportunity for economic opulence is actually better in Africa if we just have the mindset that we are in control. If we have the mindset of Ifenta Anaja, where Chineke said, everything that I've created around you
is for
your good.
Mama.
Right? It's for your mama. From trial and error, you will be able to determine those things that are good for you to help perpetuate your existence on earth.
That's right.
I am in you always.
Mona
chiso iketenale gano ikitiokbandanda. If you listen inwardly, you will hear my voice telling you what to do in times of trouble, what is right and what is wrong. The point is, there's never going to be thunderclap from the skies to give you instructions. The instructions on how to live, control your destiny, how to do better, is always going to come from within.
That's right.
The change that you seek is in you. Be the change that you're looking for. The power of Chineke is in you. You are Chineke.
Anye waka Chineke. Aka Chineke. Aka Chineke. When you think it's blessing someone today, can you only bless? Blessing on her.
That Ethiopian woman.
The God in you
is a good example. Yeah.
Is the one that's doing the work.
Absolutely.
You know, everything in life is a process.
Yeah.
Everything in life, you know, when events occur one at a time until the process is complete. You know, when we are faced with difficult things, we need to stop and say, Chineke, what do you want me to do? What is my process? What steps do you want me to take to work through this thing you presented me? Look at this woman.
I just got to say something, you know, I just need to point something out.
Yes.
And one of the things I'm going to point out is Nosferatu. Nosferatu Gerentina, y'all know Ikitiok Mandanga. She heard God talking to her, and he went out there and have now created a brand that I'm telling you, man, I can't even begin to imagine
a brand unto herself
and the success that is coming to her. All because she understood that she has the power of Chineke in her to change and to create the kind of future that she wants to without having to ask somebody else. Look, we are not saying that when you have this journey, when you're going through the journey of life,
yes,
there are always going to be people that are going to help you.
Yes.
And there are always going to be people that are going to discourage you.
Yes.
Right? You just need to make sure that you embrace the people that see what you see, yes, and are willing to help you get there or willing to walk with you.
All around you.
All around you.
All around you.
The second example, and right now we're just kind of mitigating some things, and I'm going through some other things that I need to kind of take care of so that I could really, we can really make this thing go nuts. The African calendar is going to take the world by storm. It is something that we look at and just say, oh, it's African calendar, and all that kind of stuff. But we've decided to take this thing and turn it into an educational instrument.
That's right.
Right? With global distribution, not just within the African communities globally, but beyond that. Yes. We're going to present African calendar in a way that has never been presented before. And that is because I get intentionally. We listen to God in us, letting us know that we're in control of our greatness. The good and the success that we seek is within us. We just have to establish the right relationship with, number one, the Creator, Chineke, with ourselves, and with those people around us.
Yes.
And you cannot fail.
You cannot fail. They say like the most of us, when something bad happens to us, right? We freak out. We just freak out. No matter what's going on, however, we got to ask ourselves, what is a process? We don't have a process. Many of us don't. When bad things happen, hey, Chineke, but if you have a process, if something happens, this is what I'm going to do. If you don't have a process right now, have one. Map out anything that can go wrong. What do I do in this event? This woman was talking about the fact that she had to travel to from Nigeria to Libya. Can you imagine? Through the desert and all. She knew she would run out of water. So she stopped peeing. She stopped peeing. She felt like peeing, but she didn't. So every time she felt like peeing, she would drink her urine. She drank her urine over and over and over until she got to land. What am I saying? I'm not saying anybody should drink their urine. What the point I'm trying to make is she had a plan.
To do.
She had a plan. She didn't say, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then, but I want to take this trip. But what am I going to do if I find that I don't have water to drink? She decided way ahead of time, this is what I'm going to do when I don't have water to drink. All of us must, every effort, everything that happens has a solution. When I get all these calls, I'm hungry, I'm this, I'm that, which I do understand. I understand. Things are not easy for anybody. But the person that you're asking for help, things may not be easy for them either.
Yeah.
It may not be easy for them either. So for some of us that seem like we have something, we have a plan. Do you understand what I'm saying? We make a plan.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to handle something, But this is Yudi. One of the things that is helpful, and I'm speaking now as a psychologist, okay? One of the things that is very helpful is when something is happening to you, don't see that as happening to you. See it as something happening to someone else. Just step back from the situation and pretend it's happening to somebody else. If I when you're looking at somebody who's going through something and you're standing behind and say, wow, what this person is going through, how can that be solved? you find that you begin to solve that problem when it's not you in the picture. When you remove yourself and put somebody else in the picture, guess what you start doing? You start solving that problem for them. You start saying, well, he can do this or she can do this, you know. And after you solve it, then you do it.
So you're saying looking at issues that way increases your objectivity.
Thank you. There you go.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
It minimizes the subjective tendency that we have.
Yeah.
You know, we just, when we see the problem from our own personal perspective, this is happening to me, 9 out of 10 times, we're not prepared, right? We don't know how to handle it. So we sink before we find a floater. You know, it's like when you're drowning, you know, when you're drowning, they tell you, calm down, think, because guess what? What is swimming anyway, Yudi?
Flailing around.
That's right. But
you need to know how to put it in rhythm.
That's right.
Give it the rhythm it needs to keep you afloat. Yeah.
Yes. Develop a rhythm. So okay, I got this. You know, this person is drowning. Okay, but this is what she or he needs to do. And then you start doing it. And you find, you know what we say. That's why I say Aka Chineke. We are Aka Chineke. Anything that we want Chineke to do for us, we are the ones doing it.
You have the capacity already.
We have the capacity. You can't just keep praying. Get off your knees.
Praying. What did they say? Faith without works is what?
It's useless.
It's useless. And that's really a lot of reasons why you see Africans in despair sometimes, because of this way of thinking that is outside our own primordial spiritual life, right? Where you're told that you need to take your problem off of you, and put it on
somebody else,
something else, right? And that something else will solve your problem. But nobody's telling you that something else is really you. You cannot hang it on anything.
That's it,
right? So Chineke Madubuchi Bear, Chineke works through someone. You. When somebody else, when your neighbor is praying for help, and you come across, your lawn to help them solve that problem, God has answered their prayers through you.
That's right.
Now, you could pray all you want to, but if you don't get up and go buy a lottery ticket, you ain't gonna win anything.
No, you're not gonna win.
You see, so you may pray, which is a good thing because it lets you be grounded spiritually.
That's right.
In the long run,
you gotta act on that prayer.
Yeah, it is really you that will now have to put that prayer that you just prayed to work, and then hope that along the way that you have people who are just as godly as you are.
That's right.
Right? You are just like God to your fellow human being. You hope that you will meet people along the way that understand that they are also responsible for your success, and they spiritually understand that they have to do whatever is necessary to help you get there, because spiritually it is good for them. And not only that, they are preparing the path that when they themselves need help from somebody else, that you will be there.
That's right.
To help them in their journey. It's a relationship that we have to forge with one another on a very high spiritual level.
And I just really feel Nikechukwu, Alikali Gebi.
Oh man, it reminds me of Noah, man. Don't get me crying now.
Alikali Gebi. Alikali Gebili. Alikali Gadi. Biko Chukwu nyere anyị aka ka ụmụaka bilie. Chukwu biko nyere anyị aka ka ụmụaka bilie. Alikali Gebili. Alikali Gadi. And even any struggling man or woman will rise.
Yes.
I don't care what your situation is.
It's a given.
It's a given. You may not become a millionaire immediately. Understand that. If your goal is simply to be a millionaire, it's going to take a while.
Yep.
But if it is to survive and have modest living, you're capable of anything. Because of God's power. But the thing is, Chineke's power is right here. It's right here. It's in you. And that's why you had earlier. Resist. You know, if you play the role of the third person, if you're that third person and you're looking in, right? You are able to assess. It allows you to now assess the situation. What do you know about the situation before you start to try and manage it? And that is the difference between personalizing an issue, right? Personalizing it and say, oh my God, this is happening to me, as opposed to depersonalizing it, right? You look at it as something happening to somebody else, and then you're able to assess what that issue is and how can this person, not you, go about solving it. And that's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
You know, what needs to happen will come to you as long as you're looking at somebody else. You will always, with the power of Chineke, as long as you understand Monachiso, I am one. See, that guides me every single day. Oh, Monachiso, no matter what, even if I'm sick, I say, oh, Monachiso. Chineke does Chineke get sick? If Chineke is in me, why should I be sick? That's not to say that I'm not sick, right? But my mind tells me, no, I'm not. I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes your mind helps you to heal. Resist blaming or imagining the worst, being angry or afraid. Remember, it is not about you. As long as you put it, as long as you're looking at someone else, it is not your problem anymore. You have nothing to. What are you afraid of? It's not your problem. You're looking at somebody else going through it, and you are Aka Chineke. You're about to help that person, right? You're just an observer. So what are you afraid of? Yeah. So that is why psychologically you've got to pull yourself away from the problem and have someone else go through the problem.
And also you have to, okay, I think you and I talked earlier, right?
Yes.
There's always a reason why people are going through something. There's always a reason. It just doesn't fall from the sky, right? Yeah. Even if it fell from the sky, the reason why you're going through it is because it fell from the sky, right? Even if it just, boom, you're in a bad situation, there's a reason for everything.
That's right.
And the reason is based on a level of truth. You and I talked about earlier, there are 3 kinds of truth. And I got this from Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. There's personal truth.
Yes.
That you tell yourself to make yourself feel good. Then there's political truth that you tell to influence somebody else. Then there's the objective truth that has to deal with why. It doesn't change. You can't taint it. You can't twist it. You can't do anything about it. It is what it is. Right? When you're going through something, you need to be objective about why you're going through it. And sometimes the reason why you're going through it may not be directly related to the actions that you took.
Yes.
It could be related to actions that somebody else took.
That's right.
But for you to maintain the right mental capacity and see things for what they are, you have to be very objective about it. If it is somebody else that is the reason why you're in the situation that you're in, you need to ask yourself, did I have something to do with the reason why that person is influencing my situation?
That's right.
In Nigeria, for example, it is political. The reason why most people are in the situation that they're in today, and I said most people, I didn't say all people. Most people is because of our political decisions that impacts our personal life, our political life, and our economic life. It is based on the decisions that we make. Now, what kind of decisions did we make? The decision just didn't start in the voting booth. It started when we decided to look ourselves differently from who we really are. And that mindset is responsible for where we are today in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
If we were primordial in our thinking, Pan-African in our thinking, then you will understand that, number one, spiritually speaking, Mandubuchi Bear,
we'll go to each other.
We'll go to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We look at each other as spiritually evolved human beings, and that curtails the level of negativity that we pass from one person to another because of our highly elevated spiritual way of looking at ourselves.
That's right.
But when you're influenced by spiritual tenets that are foreign to you, that begins to change your primordial core, you start looking at situations differently from what you used to look at them as before these people came to our shores preaching this and preaching that. And telling you that you are not responsible for your success, telling you that Chineke is not in you, that Chineke is somewhere else up there. When you and I both know that once you get on a spaceship and get out there, it's space. There ain't no heaven up there. It's Mars, it's the sun, it's Jupiter, it's Venus, it's the moon. That's what's up there.
You know, Yudi, well, it's so well said. Bringing us around what is ours, what is comfortable. It's like when you're in your own house, right?
Yeah.
You know how to get to the restroom. You know where the kitchen is. You know where the living room is. You know your home.
Yep.
Right? When somebody comes in, right, and puts a cloth around your eyes in your own house, gente, know what I'm saying? Eh?
Yeah.
Then they close your eyes, right? And then they tell you, now even with your eyes closed, you know where your upstairs is, right?
Yep.
They turn you the other way around and say, no, the upstairs is now this way. Then you start fumbling, trying to find something you already knew.
Yep. As long as you knew where you started.
You knew, you see what I'm saying?
They put that on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been blinded. Whoever the ha is, or woge hema to menegi boka. Atupagan na okoro. Or nefana kotonia okokoro. Eh?
Yeah, okokoro. Yeah. You try to find a way out.
If somebody throws you in a hole, and you know you can still see, you can get up, right? Do you lay on your back facing up and still stay down there?
You try to get yourself out of there. Yeah.
Okay, so we've been thrown in the hole. We are facing up. We have breath. Let us get up.
And long-term thinking, right? Because if we understand why we're in this position, and we understand, if we understand why we're in whatever position we're in.
We understand, Yudi. I'm going to tell you very honestly. It isn't that our people don't understand why they are in the position they're in. Many of them don't want to know. See, the truth is a painful thing. Because when you know the truth, then you have no excuse for why you're where you are.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So a lot of people don't want to know the truth. So they stay there. Let somebody else tell them the truth. Let somebody give them something sweet. Something that would give them an excuse to stay where they are.
Something shiny.
Something shiny. Look, and there's nothing excuse the expression, there's nothing I hate more than people saying it's God's will. It's no such thing.
There's nothing like God's will.
There's no such thing as it's God's will for something bad to happen to you.
And life happens.
Life happens, but the point of the matter is Chineke will introduce, things will happen around you, but Chineke say, I'm here. All you have to do is
saying it's God's will is saying that God is playing favoritism, right? God decides this person ain't going to make it. That person is going to make it. So it's God's will that I make it. And it's God's will that person is not going to make it. Even though that person is a nice person, has done everything right, has been a blessing to his fellow human being, everything. But all of a sudden, well, it wasn't God's will for him to make it. Then why did he even bother to be good? He bothered to be good because the faint voice of Chineke in him told him that he had to be a good person He has to be a positive influence in his community. And he has to do certain things and live a certain way so that he could be a blessing unto somebody else. Then in the end, when he's going through some painful situation, you tell me, well, it's God's will. Really?
That's right. That's right.
You know what it sounds like? I hate to kind of get off the topic, but I got to illustrate my point. It just sounds to me like this guy is on the cross. He can't handle 3 nails, but he was able to raise the dead. He walked on water. Right? He fed 5,000 people with a loaf of bread. He turned water into wine. You know, he did all that stuff, but he couldn't get off the cross with 3 nails there. And in the end, he turns around and asks God, Eli Sabachthani, Father, why have thou forsaken me? He didn't even think God had the power to do it for him.
Yes. Come on again.
That's just the truth of the matter. Come on now, let's face it. Let's get real. And this is what we as Black folks have embraced. And a lot of times when we're going through the situations that we're going through,
we feel weak. We feel helpless.
Yeah.
We feel helpless.
You're as helpless as this guy on the cross who did everything and walked on water and raised the dead and did all that stuff. Then in the end, he turned around to God and God forsake his own son.
You know, I mean, those are stories told to us to keep us. It's like when somebody tells you you're born again. Being born again means like you're returning as a child. And as a child, you can't think for yourself. You're dependent on another. No. People, family. Ozugo. You know, it's time for, we're not children. We're not born again. We were born. I can tell you when I was born, and I am growing in grace.
They don't want you to grow spiritually.
You understand what I'm saying? Everything I'm going through now are all processes towards me becoming an ancestor. You know what I'm saying? So I can't go back and be born again.
No.
Don't want to be born again. I want to continue to do. And many of us, please stop with the misconception, with the lies and all that sort of thing. It is important for you to grow. In Chiism, we tell you, grow. Iwaka Chineke. Wherever you are right now, I want you to raise your hand and understand Ibo Aka Chineke. Any work that Chineke does through you, through your fellow man.
Yes.
Chineke doesn't want you to be born and become what is a baby going to do for me? I got to hold up a baby. So what is a born again person going to do for you? You already born. You're powerful. You're walking with God. Chineke Sogoneje, start walking.
Yeah.
Kalfani said, race is not only running the Coliseum, it is running life.
It's just the way it is. Truth to power. Truth to power right there. Life is a race. It's hurdles. There are obstacles, right? It's the way it is. It doesn't matter if you're Japanese, you're Chinese, you're Christian, Muslim, African. It doesn't matter. We all have the same experiences going through life. It's a question of how you see these obstacles and how you handle them.
Yudi, people need to stop worrying about what might happen.
Yeah. You got to go for it, man. You only got one life to live.
For it. You have to go for it. You have to take a chance. Yeah. Even if it doesn't work. It might not work.
But life is about chances anyway. When I get in my car driving to work, I'm taking a chance. When you're going to the store, you're taking a chance. When you get married, you're taking a chance. When you have babies, you're taking a chance. If you're going upstairs, you're taking a chance that you may fall from the stairs and break your neck. Life is about chances. That's what Chineke told Iventa and Ada. Right? Everything that I've created around you is for your good. From trial and error, you will be able to determine those things that are good for you to help perpetuate your existence on earth. Everything we learn in life is about trial and error. It's about taking chances. You never knew that okra was good for you until you tried it. There were a lot of people that tried different plants to eat in the old days and ended up dead. But they had to eat. So they took the chances. Trial and error. Egusi is good. Okra is good. This is good. That is good. And today, through the evolution of man and woman, you got this big pot of soup that you are just having a ball eating and nourishing yourself. So taking chances is good. That's what life is all about.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And we as African, if you're chaste, now Global Faith, so people know, Global Faith Ministries of Chiism is a ministry of Godian religion. We are the ULTRA, Organization of Traditional Religions. So that means that, you know, there are different African traditional religions that are part of what we do. Okay, yes. So we're not just Igbo, you know, but anything that's traditional we embrace, because to do so is to you know, let's understand, even European religions and all of that, it's perfectly okay for them, you know, that's their thing. It's okay. But what is your own? What did your ancestors teach you? What have you learned in your classroom? Your culture is your classroom. What have you learned? What did your teachers, your ancestors, what did they teach you? Stop worrying about what people think about your ancestors. Stop worrying about what people think about you as an African person. Learn in your classroom. That Africa is your classroom. Your ancestors were your teachers. Your elders are your teachers. Learn well. Stop apologizing.
Yeah, why is the word ancestor even looked upon by Africans as something that is terrible? Which culture in the world can tell you that they didn't have ancestors?
Everybody has an ancestor.
Everybody has ancestors, and they can use that word. They can call themselves ancestors. But for Africans, one way or another, when you talk about ancestors, it's derogatory. It's something dirty. It's something bad, because that foreign spiritual influence has incessantly, right, drummed into your head that everything about you is bad.
It's bad.
That they gave you what you know today spiritually. You and I had a conversation the other time, and we talked about the fact that there are only, maybe, it depends, but there are really about only 7 spiritual absolutes in the world.
In the world, yeah.
And every religion, every culture, every race has it on every continent.
You say?
Thou shalt not kill.
You say?
It's a universal spiritual no. There is no culture that says thou shalt kill. So it is not a Christian thing.
No.
Neither is it a Jewish thing. Neither is it a Muslim thing, or an African thing, or a Japanese thing. It is a universal spiritual absolute that is objectively true.
You say?
On any level.
You say?
Thou shalt not lie.
You say?
It is a universal absolute. No culture says, oh, it's okay to tell a lie, it's all right. No. Everybody frowns, you know, against it, because contracts that can mean the difference between life and death is based on being truthful. If somebody gives you the wrong medical diagnosis, you're dead.
That's it. That's it.
If you're going into business and somebody lies to you, you're losing money and you're coming after them.
You say?
Thou shalt not covet somebody else's wife. I don't know any culture that says, oh, it's okay for you to covet somebody else's wife. If you're going to be with somebody else's wife, then you better marry her. Now you got a woman and 2 husbands. You could do that. It's all good. So there are certain spiritual absolutes that is universal.
You say?
And because of it, it is important that we understand that, spiritually speaking, the European or the Arab did not bring anything to us that we didn't already have. So we must look at ourselves as people that are either spiritually on the same level, or maybe even spiritually, you know, more spiritually, how do you say, endowed. After all, there's a saying, remember Professor Breasted that said that the next civilizations are come from Africa. Right? And also say, the other German guy said that it was Africa that taught the world the difference between right and wrong.
Yes.
We give the world a conscience. We spiritualize the world. Not only is it because people historians wrote that. But if you follow human evolution, you will know that life began in Africa, and human migration started from Central Africa and permeated the world. So it shouldn't, how do you say? It shouldn't make people upset to say that human spirituality came from Africa, because archaeologically speaking, we can prove it.
Yes, and it's okay. It's okay to brag about yourselves.
Yes.
When
there's
nothing racist about being proud of who you are.
It's objective truth.
Because if you're not proud of who you are, then you're not grateful that you were born. You're not grateful that you exist. You've got to be proud of who you are. We have a short lifespan. Yep. If you spend all that time apologizing for who you are, do you understand? You will die before you know it, and when you die, nobody will remember you. It is your responsibility to speak honestly about who you are. Look, this young man, this person off the dribble on the court, it says emo people are relegated to thinking old is considered not important and outdated, which is totally false.
Yep.
I hope I know where he's going with this, but I'm not sure what emo is. It Igbo people? Emo?
Yeah, it's Igbo people. Yeah.
So okay, so when we say that old, it's not important, right? There's no new without old.
Yeah.
Because the old leads the new to become old. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of us, everything gets old ultimately. So you can negate what you can learn from the past. Everything that you learn at this moment that you're young, it was passed on from the old. You cannot ignore your past. You cannot, and that is, quite frankly, this is what is wrong with us.
Yeah,
we abandon our sins. We're told our things are bad, it's old, it's outdated. No, let me just add, and then you let's say. Remember that if you go to college, all the books that you're reading, all the textbooks were not written in 2021.
Yeah.
The textbooks that you're reading, some of them were written in 1965.
Yeah.
Written in 1908. Go back. What is the purpose of that? Why is it okay for you to read the history of other people and then you accept? Remember, this is important. I'm getting excited here because when the spirit moves you, you gotta go with the flow. When we are told that African culture, African spirituality is less than the new religions that are brought to us. Remember, most of these religions are not even 2,000, are just about 2,000. What is our history? How far does our history date?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's how long we've been here, right? Yeah. What God kept us till missions came. Did God exist then?
There you go.
Or did God start existing?
I guess it was a different God.
What God was that? Who gave us breath? When you saw historically that Africans existed way back when, who, if you believe that the Chineke is the creator, who created us then?
Thank you.
Before the Christianity came, before Islam came, before Buddhism came,
there you
go. All these others, what God kept us?
There you go. Good question.
You need to have some sense of pride about your history, because this is what guides your tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't know what tomorrow will birth, but something had to pregnate tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's the past that impregnates the future so that the future can be born.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I can't even. What you've just articulated it's as we say, it is the nitty gritty, right?
Yes.
Only thing I'm going to add to it is simply this: I don't think that we, as people of African ancestors, both in the homeland and globally, understand the idea of, what's the word for it? Evolution.
Evolution.
Things evolving. Right. A lot of spiritual beliefs that we have globally, whether you're African, Chinese, Japanese, doesn't really matter, right? Was coined out of a level of ignorance.
Yes.
It is also said that science is the enemy of religion. And I mean in Christianity, Buddhism, it doesn't really matter. Depending on the religion, what their tenets are and what their objectives are.
Yes.
Right? A lot of times we ascribe things that are bad and we say that it's evil.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And we say it is evil because we did something to deserve this. Right? Then science comes in and says, hey, the reason why your stomach is hurting right now is because you got something called appendicitis. And that's because food went in there. There's no evil spirit to drive out. All we have to do is take a knife, slice you open, get this little thing out of there, and you're good.
You say?
All of a sudden, this pain here is now disassociated with some evil spirit. Right?
Say it again.
Meanwhile, the church is saying, wait a minute. We used to tell people that it's because of this particular sin. That's why they got this stuff in here. And because of it, it drives them to put their money in our coffers. Now that we have found out that this is caused by some stone of food that went into this little pouch over here, it is dangerous for our business. That's a witch, not a medical doctor. Hang him, burn him. Foreign religion of Christianism starts to play a role in how fast science metastasizes in our daily lives. Then we in Africa that don't understand that things evolve, that don't ask the questions, did any other culture have the same belief or have the same understanding of this specific situation before this specific point in time? Give example. Twins. Africans used to kill twins before when Christianity came to Africa. They would stop killing twins, but they forget that they were killing twins in the Amazon. They killed twins in Europe. Vikings killed twins. They're white folks, ain't they? Nobody's asking those kinds of questions. So the point is, once we understand the role that evolution plays in both our spiritual understanding and in science, then we're able to mitigate our situation. We're able to understand where we've been, where we are, where we're going. We're able to understand how to deal with the problems that we're facing in our daily lives, both economically, politically, and spiritually. We now feel empowered to change certain things that maybe will result in a better future or outcome for us. But we have to understand why we got here in the first place. Sometimes it is not because of what you did. It is because of what your neighbor did. It can also be because of some actions that you took in the past, maybe politically or otherwise, to give you the worst leadership that you could think of that is now responsible for the fact that you now graduated from college. You can't get a job with a master's degree. It ain't because you're less than. It is because of the political decisions that we made that we are now paying the price for. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Well said. You know, this program is coming to an end now, but before we leave, I just want to say to Ndibanye, for those of you who don't speak Igbo, Ndibanye means my people. My people. You
see,
there is nothing that the eye sees and bleeds.
Yeah.
That means that there's nothing that we can't overcome. There's nothing more powerful than we are.
Yeah.
We are our own very best friend. We are what life is all about. We are survivors. And the spirit that helped your people survive is still here, waiting for you to reach out and embrace and powerful again. As you walk out of your house, before you walk out of your house, pour libations. Thank Chineke for this body called African. Thank Chineke for this African mind.
Yes.
Thank Chineke for this African color. Don't look for who you are. Be proud. Walk with pride. Other people are walking with pride because right where they are, they understand Chineke is. And if you're being told differently, you know, the most powerful tool in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? The mind of the oppressed. Don't be oppressed. Don't remain oppressed. Chineke is telling you, wake up. Kulie. There's nothing holding you down but you, because the universe will pick you up when you're ready.
Yes. True.
Get ready.
Yeah.
She will lift you up and hold you up when you're ready. Okay? Will keep you up when you're ready. The question now is, are you ready?
There you go.
Are you ready? Don't talk about the problem. It is time to get ready. It is time to move yourself, your mind, and your body in the perfecting presence of Chineke, because Chineke no.
He said,
yes, somebody said, be about your ancestors' business. Yes.
Yes.
This is time. This is time. Udodidunu. Let every way of your lives be light, and all of your acts be crowned with good.
You say.
And may the world prosper by this ministry of Jesus.
You say.
For those of you people.
You say. You say.
My brothers and sisters, I love you with all my heart, and I look forward to another session with you next Sunday. Yagazienu.
Yagazienu. Otito niile dịrị Chineke.
Ise o.
Yes.